Our naval vessels are going into the Chinese ports, and now we're traders, and they were bad people and still have weird ideas. But they're getting more militaristic. But we're not going to fight China here anywhere soon. And so I don't want to go out looking for a war. Why should we be looking for a war with the Iranians? I mean, what have they done to us? What are they capable of doing to us? I mean, it's just absurd to
weapons potentially.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Nobody's proven that. No, but nobody's proven that. But why shouldn't they like to?
But do you take them at their word that they're not?
They're surrounded by nuclear weapons. They're surrounded by nuclear weapons. The Russians and the Chinese had thousands of them, and we dealt with them. So they don't even have one. They're just thinking about it. They're just thinking about it.
In your worldview, is U.S. foreign policy a matter of hiding from every geopolitical threat around the world and hoping it goes away, or hoping that somebody else will solve the problem for us?
No, you do it in a constitutional fashion. If it's a threat to us, you go to the Congress and get permission. But perpetual war and saying you have to, we're at a stage right now where if somebody appears to be a threat, we're going out and kill them, even American citizens. The Obama administration has just admitted that they have a policy of assassinating American citizens if they are a threat, and they're not allowed to be told what the charges are because it's secret. Well, that's not what America's all about. I mean, there's ways of handling these things.
But how would you handle,
crisis.
Just to go back to Iran, how would you handle Iran? Would you agree that we shouldn't be trading with them? Would you say it's not a threat until they actually produce or tell us that they've produced a nuclear weapon?
If we can trade with China and talk to the Soviets when they were powerful and had weapons, why can't we talk to them? And why should we turn the gasoline supplies off to the people and then literally, hurt the dissidents over there? Why should we go to Iraq and fight Iraq and turn Iraq? Now it's run by the Shiites, who are the allies of the Iranians. We're supposed to fight the Iranians, and yet we turn the Iraqi situation over to them. During the 80s, we were bosom buddies of Saddam Hussein. We propped him up and gave him his first nuclear reactor. The whole thing is insane what we do. I mean, it's wasteful, and it hurts us. It hurts our national defense. And literally, every time you hear that a Taliban person was killed, the Taliban's more or less the people who are trying to defend their country. And every time you kill one, and you kill a lot of innocent people over there, their families are dedicated toward trying to kill Americans in compensation. So we just don't have any business over there. It doesn't serve our interests. It's bankrupt in our country, and it exposes us to a lot more danger. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people are waking up to this, and this is why the people are inheriting this debt, and the people who are going to have to fight these wars are with me on this and are starting to shift their viewpoints. So this foreign policy is a big issue, and Eisenhower and good Republicans in the past have always talked about watch out for the military-industrial complex. It was the Republicans in the past that fought the people like Woodrow Wilson and said, don't get us involved in these wars that are unnecessary. And back then, the Republicans defended civil liberties. So today, it's so different, and the young people know what's going on, and I think the Republican parties and other leaders in this country need to wake up and find out exactly why the young people are sick and tired of what is being dumped on them politically and economically.
That was World War I, right, with Woodrow Wilson that we got involved with?
Right. Right, and we tried, the Republicans resisted that. The Republicans tried to stay out of world government, didn't want the League of Nations. They resisted the espionage and sedition laws, and it's the Republicans that released the people from the prisons who were put in prison for speaking out against the war.
Well,
and that's why Republicans, what I'm saying.
All right. I can't imagine anyone actually likes spending money on war, but you obviously have a sense that the world is a lot more safer place, perhaps, than a lot of other people do.
Well, it would be a lot safer if we didn't have so many wars that we start. We believe in preventive war, preemptive war. We believe in starting wars because someday somebody might attack us. Yes, well, if they attack us, fine and dandy. We ought to be powerful enough. But you can't start wars and call it peacemaking.
I wish we had more time to continue the conversation, Joe. It sort of turned into a big foreign policy discussion, but shows you how intractable some of these problems are, some of these issues are.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about...
But it is.
The entire world...
Foreign policy is an economic...
Yeah, but we're too big to... The world is too big to fail now, and I just wonder what happens when... you know, all the sovereign nations now that are too big to fail. I wonder how it all finally, what finally happens. Maybe all our currencies will go down to the same amount, Ron, so that it won't matter. So
yeah, well, we're gonna be bailing them out because they're they're allowing us to do that. But it's a very friable system. Fiat monies never last. They always collapse. Empires always collapse for financial reasons. We didn't lose a war against the Soviets, and the Soviets weren't beaten by us militarily. They were beaten financially. That's the way we'll eventually come down, and the world will change, and we're on the verge of it. That's what these signs are telling us, that this debt cannot be sustained, and the debt is run up by two groups in Washington. They compromise, and they run it up for domestic reasons and foreign policy.
10 seconds for a hard break. We appreciate your time, though, Congressman Paul. Good to see you. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay.